Nicole, I want to ask, what are your thoughts on how leadership is changing and needs to change to adapt to what is happening now in the coming years? And at this point, we're not even talking about a decade. In the next year or two, what are your thoughts?
It's a great question. It's something that keeps me up at night, a lot of thinking about just the massive change that needs to happen to support this. And it should have happened a long time ago. I think that's one of the things that this is helping, is that leaders and managers really need to be able to lead and manage. We've gotten to the point where you have to wear 20 hats all day and you don't have enough time to really focus on building and developing and mentoring that you would love to do. You're too busy putting out fires all day. So I think one of the big changes is needing to allocate more time for mentoring and coaching and training. And that needs to be a top priority across every single organization. And that's one thing I take to heart, is we're building the next generation of leaders for technology. And we need to make sure that we leave it better than how we walked into it.
Absolutely. I hear exactly what you're saying. And that really leads into the next part of the conversation, which is talent right now has a lot of options, from entry level all the way to senior executive. There's a lot of options out there, and employers really need to woo them. We've spoken a little bit about this regarding showing empathy, showing flexibility, spending the time. But what is it that employers can really do to make themselves more attractive, to really attract not only the top talent, but then to retain them? And I'm going to pass that over to you, Bridget.
So I think listening to your employees is the most important thing. And as Nicole was saying, ways that employees work with each other, work with their managers, it's different, right? And so it's really important for managers to understand that and be able to react to that properly. But I think that to create an environment where people want to work, they need to have good relationships with the people that they work with, right? And of course, the mission of your company is really important, but day to day, they're working with other people in your organization, and that needs to be as absolutely effective as possible for them to be as productive as possible. It's hard to work with your peers when, some are together in a room and maybe you're not, or, everyone's at home and you're at home and you're just not in the same location. It's really, really challenging to build and maintain those relationships, but it just means that we all need to really work at it, and we need to bring it to the forefront, and we need to take the time away from what the firefighting that you're doing, like Nicole was mentioning, and really invest in figuring out how you can work optimally with the people around you. And that might be your team if you're a manager. It might be, just your coworkers if you're an individual contributor. But that is absolutely critical to the success of your company. And that's what makes people want to stay. That's how you're going to retain talent. But that's also going to make people want to join your company, right? Because you've got a culture that's inclusive and communicative and collaborative with all the wonderful talent that you've got across your organization.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I want to bring that question over to Nicole, to you as well. If we break down that topic a little bit further, what is talent looking for? Obviously, compensation is important. Company culture is important. The future of their career is potentially important. But those have all sort of been shuffled in the last year. Potentially a very high-paying job that takes somebody away from their family is not going to be as attractive to somebody that maybe it once was, even just 12 months ago. So I want to drill a little bit deeper to figure out what really is talent looking for these days. Like, what is it that employers can really, really invest in to help potential candidates and potential employees understand that they're really there to, support their teams?
It's a big challenge, but having to have these discussions about what is your scenario for work from home or hybrid is bringing to the forefront of conversations and interviews your company culture. And it's having you work through that with a potential candidate coming in the door. And it's something that sometimes got missed historically, is what the potential employee is looking for is what the company is looking for too. And that was earlier in my career. I focused more on tech skill sets. Now I focus on the soft skills. And this is where I focused a lot in the interviews and building teams, is you may be a a rock star with your skill set in one technology part. But if you aren't driven and you don't want to be part of a team and you don't want to learn new technology and help grow together, that is so much more important to me than having that rock star skill set as a tech skill set. So I think having the opportunity now to bring this to the forefront and making sure that you have a connection, you have a fit for what the potential employee is looking for and what the company is willing to offer and is looking for to grow the team is a huge opportunity for all of us.
You took me straight to my next question, which was about soft skills. It's become something that is, again, not one of those things that are, I don't want to say optional because they were never really optional, but do we really need that rock star or do we need that great team player who can learn? And I think the answer is obvious, but this new importance being put on soft skills. Can we talk about how it has really changed in the last year, how it's significantly harder to connect and how those soft skills really come in and how you've seen that play out in your own experiences? And Bridget, I want to start with you on that one.
This has come to the forefront over the past year and a half, because we've had to change how we work with each other. We have to change how we work just during our normal daily activities. And people that have stronger skill sets in that area, stronger self-motivating skills, they're organized, all the different things that you need to do to be able to kind of transition from one environment to another, which happened to many of us just over a weekend, right? On Friday, we found out we're not coming to work anymore for a while. And on Monday, it's, you start working from home. For people that don't have that flexibility, that is a very, very difficult transition. And it's very, very difficult for them to be able to work with their peers in a new way. If it was difficult for them to work with their peers before, right? They're probably not going to be able to make that transition with you. And now we're looking, as we said earlier, looking at another transition, right? We're looking at working from home full-time for many people within your organizations to now working in a hybrid. And that's another transition. And that's going to be really, really hard for a lot of people. But you need those people that are motivated to figure out how to make it work for themselves and how to make it work for their teams and how to make it work for their company to be successful.